Hey, what's going on? New Life Church, Bronson Duke here from our downtown Little Rock church. I'm going to be continuing our Walking with God series this week, and I've got the topic of simplicity. Okay, I wonder, did you buy anything in 2020 and wish you could return it? Where are my people who bought toilet paper? I wish I could see you. The people who hoarded toilet paper made it so difficult for the rest of us. I read an article about a guy who bought a $10,000 camper shell that he never used, but he aspired to go camping more. Callie and I, we bought soup. Okay, we hoarded soup, and apparently soup does go bad after about 8 months, because I went out to get some. I bought the organic soup, you know, the Wolfgang Puck style, and it had gone bad. But I wonder if you bought into any mindsets or into any patterns or into anything else in your life, any ideologies that didn't pan out the way that you'd hoped they would, and maybe you wish you could return those. You know, I know for me, in 2020, I decided that I wanted to change my life. I wanted to find some new rhythms. And I was reading a book, and a guy said this. He said that I have 3 goals in life, and I've adopted these. And I want to invite you on this journey with me. Number 1, I want to be with Jesus. Number 2, I want to be like Jesus. And number 3, I want to do what Jesus would do if he were me. Go with me to Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28 through 30. Verse 28 through 30. Jesus said this. He said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give each of you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart. Then you'll find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden that I give you is light." Number 1, I want to be like Jesus. How are we going to do that? We're going to get alone with God. Y'all, solitude is something that is difficult for us. If you want to live simply, I believe that we have to have times of solitude. If you look at the life of Jesus, he continually went off and he got alone. But look what Jesus said. He said, if you want rest, if you're weary, if you're tired, come to me. You know, I read somewhere that said it's virtually impossible for you to have a spiritual life if you don't have solitude in your life. And so I think we've got to simplify. If we want to be like Jesus, we've got to spend time with Jesus. Number 2, I want to be like Jesus. You got to declutter your life. Look at this. He says in verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I'll give you rest." Yo, we've got to declutter our lives. If we want to become like Jesus, we've got to declutter our lives. Jesus lived simply. It's because I'm shooting the video on. I'm looking for my cell phone. Y'all, I believe the number one thief of our time, the number one thief of our time with God, the number one thing that clutters up our lives is that little thing right there that is shooting this video. Y'all, it's our cell phones. You've heard our pastors teach about this throughout the weeks. But y'all, our cell phones are literally designed to addict us to them. Like they sit, they have meetings. Y'all, listen, if there's a product that the CEOs don't want their kids using, that is a product to be very, very careful with. Y'all, I think we've got to declutter our lives. We've got to set some parameters around cell phone usage in our lives. For Callie and I, that means at least 1 day a week, cell phones are going off. And we declutter that way. Last thing, do what Jesus would do if he were you. This is the most important one to me. If we want to do what Jesus would do, we've got to accept his ways. Look at the invitation here. Verse 29, it says, "Take my yoke upon you." I want to close with this thought, y'all. Every other world religion started with a teacher saying, "I've learned the way. Come to me and I'll teach you the way that I've learned." There is one world religion that's different. It's Christianity. Jesus didn't say, "I've learned the way." Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." You know, the truth is, if we want the life of Jesus, we've got to accept the lifestyle of Jesus. John Mark Comer said that. If we want the life of Jesus, we've got to accept the lifestyle of Jesus. And the yoke that rabbis would give, this teaching Jesus is talking about, he's not talking about getting yoked. He's not talking about egg yolks. He's talking about a way of living. He was saying the yoke that I've got, it's easy. He's saying yokes were something that rabbis would teach. And they'd say, this is the ultimate way for a human being to live. What does it look like for you to take on the simple yoke of Jesus in your life? What does it look like for you to be with Jesus, to become like Jesus, and then in turn do what he would do if he were you? I'm praying for you, believing God's best for you as we walk with God this year.